Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brooks Knows Baseball. Hopefully, you are liking our intro. This is the second night, or a second time we've done that intro video that we did create. So let us know what you hear. The Von Bondies, come on, which if you have ever watched MLB Network or played MLB the show growing up, you know that song very well. Today's episode is our second one of the week. We did release our Ohtani and Acuna MVP picks and other midseason awards, so please go take a look at that. We released that on Sunday morning, a day earlier than we usually do, and this one probably get released Monday. We'll release this tomorrow morning. We'll film this on Sunday night right now. But again, if you're here, new, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back to us.
Thank you very much.
We're almost at 30 subscribers now, so it's quickly growing up, seeing as beginning last month we had like 6, so it's really starting to grow a lot. We really appreciate that. But today's episode is going to be a trade deadline episode. We have done 2 of these so far, but it's something that's extremely interesting. I think it's extremely interesting, and I know T-Bone does as well. So we will keep on talking that until the trade deadline, which I believe is August 1st. But just kind of go ahead and jump right on into it. What are some of the biggest names that you think are going to be on the block this year?
Pitching mainly is most years, but I think Shane Bieber. People say, well, they're in first or tied for first wherever they're at. No, I guess they're still in first after today. But anyway, Cleveland. But they have a history of trading players. So that's they don't spend big money, so he's probably out the door. He's having a solid year, not up to his normal standards. I'm hearing a lot on Giolito getting traded in Chicago. I'm not really hearing Dylan Cease anymore. Starting pitchers, Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty with the Cardinals. I like Montgomery. Flaherty misses his worst year probably, but he might be someone interesting me. Stroman in Chicago, the Cubs. Let's see. Oh, Rodriguez with Detroit. Eduardo, he came back. I think he got hammered his first one, but he was having a great year. He's a little bit older. They may get rid of him. Someone mentioned Lance Lynn, but why? He's having a terrible year. Another one, if the Cubs decide to sell, what about Kyle Hendricks? The guy's good. 2.64 ERA, below 1 whip. Kyle Hendricks has always been a solid player. And then the big one, starting wise, well, let me back up. I'll hold on to him. I'm going to tell you one pitcher that interests me, and a lot of people won't think about him, is J.P. Sears with Oakland. A left-handed pitcher. I know a certain team that could use him. A 1.03 whip. He's got a terrible record, but he's in Oakland. Okay, but I think that's one to keep an eye on because Oakland, they unload everybody, and I think he could be a solid 4 starter for somebody in a really good 5.
Yep.
And then the big name, and the reason I say this, Milwaukee's still in the hunt, but Corbin Burns. If everybody will go back in the arbitration this year in the offseason, he got very upset with Milwaukee, and I think his quote was, I'll never sign with them after that. So that's something to look at. I know there's a few teams that will need him, Texas, Baltimore, Arizona, the Dodgers, the Yankees. There's a lot of teams that are still in the hunt that could use him.
How many teams can afford him? Not money-wise, but like prospect-wise. Who can afford him?
Well, that's true, too. I would say Arizona, Baltimore, Atlanta. Atlanta always comes up. Houston always comes up with somebody. Yep. The Marlins, because the Marlins supposedly have a pretty good farm system, and they're a surprise team. Off the top of my head, Texas could definitely afford them. Texas, the rich get richer. They had the number 4 pick in the draft. Got a heck of a player tonight.
Yep.
And watching the draft, love it. But anyway, they could do it. So that's the top of my head. The Giants, maybe. I don't know what their farm system's like right off the top of my head, but because they're kind of hanging around. So we'll see. And then
one team, one pitcher you didn't mention, and I think there's actually a couple of players in this one team that we can talk about really quick. The first one would be the Padres, because they're just god awful this year. Surprisingly, yeah. I think they're going to be sellers, and there's two guys really are going to be hot on there, and then I think a third one that we're going to mention here as well. But let's talk about the 2 pitchers first. Blake Snell.
Let me tell you something. I watched him pitch most of the entire game last night. and he was mowing the Mets down. Of course, everybody does now, but I know they were on a short winning streak. I don't know what they did
Uh,
today.
I'm looking here. It says his past 48 starts, 260 innings, has a 3.0 ERA. He is a former Cy Young winner. He knows the American League well. I think he's more of a rental player. I believe he's like 30 years old. Um, yeah, he'll be. Excuse me. He's 30 years old. So I think he is a very intriguing prospect who you can get for
Not prospect, but a
a
player. Yeah,
very big trade candidate. Sorry, what I meant. But I
right.
think he's someone you could get for it without breaking the prospect bank. Getting him, and I think going through their bullpen, arguably one of the most dominant left-handers in the game, um, Josh Hader. And Josh Hader,
Absolutely.
it's you know, he's fantastic, and he's been traded a lot. It feels like
He's been a thorn in my side for many years, ever since the Orioles gave him away for nothing. That's why the Orioles were so bad for so long, doing
yeah.
stupid stuff. Thank goodness
Hader
they kept.
Hader's a stud. He's been traded from the Orioles to the Astros to the Brewers to the Padres, so he's used to getting traded. So just keep the train rolling. I wouldn't be
I think
surprised.
he needs to go home
I would love for him to go to Baltimore. And I wouldn't be
because I got to be
surprised
honest with you.
if you
I
do.
got
They need a left-handed relief pitcher, and he's a
well,
dominant
hey,
one.
yeah, and then you can move Cano into a
But what are they
six,
going to do
seven.
with Danny Coulomb?
Hey, he's
Uh,
having a good year. He's
he's
having a
having a
good
good
year.
year, but I don't think it would be the crazy to think there might be a trade package for Hader and Blake Snell at the same time. And if you do that, there's
Why not
really
throw in Soto because he's a free agent after a year, correct?
that's who we're talking about next, Juan Soto. And the reason I say Juan Soto, so he's been doing better in recent months. He started off bad, finished the year bad last year, started off bad this year. And I don't think, he's a good player. He's still only 24 years old, I think, right?
Well,
But
yeah, he's young.
he's extremely young. However, if you look at San Diego, how much money did they spend on Tatis and Machado? And then didn't they sign Musgrove to a big deal too?
Yeah, and he's been hurt a lot, right? And are their shortstop?
They've spent tons of money.
Hey,
Um,
yeah, their shortstop. He hadn't hitting
Bogarts. So
right.
I
Was
think
he like
if
two
you put
fifty?
Juan Soto here, he's hitting 268 this year right now. He has 15 homers, 47 RBIs. He'll probably end up with around 25 to 30 home runs. Um, Hopefully his average goes up. His career average is 284 guys, so hopefully it goes up a little higher than that. He is leading, I believe he's top 5 in on base percentage for the National League.
He
I,
walks a
I
lot.
I would watch for he's leading the league in walks. He's 82 right now. I would keep an eye on him getting traded as well. I'm not necessarily expecting it to be him to get traded, but I don't think he's going to resign there. And the Padres,
Well, right.
if the Padres decide to sell Snell and Hader, there's going to be some phone calls about Soto, and there's some teams that need a power hitting left-handed bat. So definitely watch Soto. Man, he plays
Oh,
better than what. Oh,
when
when he's
he's
on,
on,
he's an MVP guy,
when
arguably. Yeah.
I watched a lot of Nationals games, and he was a dominant
You
player.
just got to remember in 2020. Granted, he only played 50 games. He hit 351. Unbelievable. So he's someone you definitely got to watch in the trade market, which is going to be something I think is going to be
Hey,
exciting.
a couple relief guys because I was talking to pitchers. Besides Hader, you got Scott Barlow, who's good up until this year. He's not so good this year with KC, but he may be on the market. David Robertson's having a comeback year. 206, 102 whip, 13 saves for the Mets. uh, let's see. That's the basic ones I got for relief pitchers since Chapman's already gone.
Yeah.
But
Well, one guy, it's not a trade. Amir Garrett was cut today, and he's a
who?
three-point. Amir Garrett, the lefty.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
I would
lefty,
pick
right,
him.
from Kansas
Yeah.
City.
I've
Uh,
always liked him.
he only has a 3.33 ERA this year, which is not bad, and I don't know
I don't
why
know why
they.
they cut him,
And so,
but
there might be something more to this because it isn't. I've always heard he's kind of a
hard to get along with. I don't know if
jerk,
that's true or not.
but
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not.
he was in Omaha last year when I was, so um, we'll see about him. I think it could be a good. I wouldn't mind my team picking him up because again, they need a left-handed. I think they need more bullpen arms because they got taxed early on a lot, and that's going.
Right. See, I think that's the thing, and I kind of forgot about that. But Jim Palmer, when I was watching a broadcast for the Orioles recently, he brought that up how they wore him out because the starting pitching was so bad. But the starting pitching is good right now. But anyway, and they got John Means coming back. If he, who knows what he's going to be like.
Hopefully, get him
But
back.
Yeah. Well, on to the hitters. I don't think there's a big market for a
I
guy
don't
that
think.
got it.
Yeah, I don't think apart from Soto, which that's not maybe not, but um, I don't think
What
there's
about
that
what
many.
about the Mets? What about the Mets with Tommy Pham and Marte? You know.
Tommy Pham is 35.
Yeah, but
So
just for a playoff push. I
yeah,
mean, look.
maybe.
Remember when the Nationals won? What was the second base, infield, outfield guy?
The guy who played for White Sox for a long time.
No, he played. No, not Josh Harrison.
Oh, Brandon Phillips.
No. Guy he had played. He started out with the Angels. Ken, how was it? Howie
Howie
Kendricks.
Kendrick. Yeah.
Yeah, he was older and
I'm
he
seeing
killed it
here
in the
like
World Series.
some of the names though: Mark Canna, Paul DeYoung.
240.
DeYoung's hitting not great.
No,
Justin Turner, who's doing okay this year. Adam Duvall, I'm seeing him there. CJ Crone.
Cody Bellinger's having a renaissance
I
year.
think Cody Bellinger is the most attractive name on here for sure.
Yeah, because
Um,
he don't have the power he used to, but he is starting to hit. He's hitting 300 last I checked,
yeah,
and I saw a little bit of them. I seen a little bit of them down. Oh, and they beat who'd they beat? Oh, the Yankees. Okay.
former MVP as well, Cody Bellinger, right?
Hey, yeah, oh yeah, big power man at one time. But speaking of hitting, Yankees fired their hitting coach today. Correct?
They did, they did, which is
I can understand it. Look at their averages.
yeah, no, absolutely. I'm again. You got CJ Crone, he's hitting 248. They say he's having back problems. He hits a lot of home runs. At least he's top 25 in each of
You
his
know,
first full
it boils
seasons.
down to who's going to be sellers. Like the Yankees, I mean the
They're in the Yankees.
Red Sox. They're a
Rank,
game out of fourth, I believe, and you one behind the Yankees. So if they sell, I mean, they're like 10 games out of a wild card spot or something in that crazy spot. I know they're way
yeah.
back.
What do you think of Tyler O'Neill? Historically he's been okay, but this year he's just terrible this year, and he hasn't played much. But yeah, I've seen his name on here, but he's only hit 228 this year, and he
Isn't
could.
he? Isn't he like decent year, bad year, decent year, bad year?
Well, he's had two. He hit 228 last year. He's hit 228 this year. Strikes out a ton. I don't see it, but go to 21. He was eighth in MVP voting. So
Hey, well, my big shocker. And we could debate this. I say maybe they move Otani. They're falling out of race rapidly. Uh, they're not going to re-sign him. I mean, they may, but they'd be much better off to get rid of him, get anything for him. They could prospect wise, and then they could sign two or three players for what he's going to get next year and be a much better team.
yeah, I
That's
think
what
you could get a lot for him.
I mean. They're not winning anything with him, so
I don't necessarily think if I was a team, I would. I don't because I feel like they would want so much for him. That's the only thing. They'd show so much for him.
unless you could sign him, talk to him and sign him, I wouldn't give you a great deal. I might give you, say, like, just say, throw a team out there,
Blue Jays.
say they wanted him, and I don't know who their top prospects are, off the top of my head, but I would
All right, go
maybe
to the
give them.
Twins because I know Brooks Lee's their number one prospect.
All right, I would give them Brooks Slay, and then you got, but
Would you give him
because
Jackson Holiday for him?
I would not,
No.
as someone who's a big Oriole follower, I wouldn't
Jackson's not
sell
attractive
the
for me.
farm for a lot of guys. I mean, that's why I see someone like J.P. Sears would be a good fit there. You probably wouldn't have to give a lot, but he's a solid pitcher.
Yep.
That whip means a lot to me. It's just like yesterday, Wells, doesn't he still lead the league in the whip?
Mm-hmm.
And every game they're in it, and they won a game with him yesterday.
Well, I also think here the Angels are going to be sellers because they're 1-9 now and they're in fourth place. They're under 500. Some teams will look real quick who'll be looking to sell.
And Rendon's hurt again, so Trout's hurt. I don't think for very long, but still,
Yeah,
they
I
might
think.
as well move
Well,
on.
the Red Sox, I think, but the Red Sox are 48 and 43.
I know, but they're going to fall. They got a trash lineup and roster. You remember Duvall how he started the year,
Yeah,
just killing, and now he's batting like 250. He got 6 home runs. I know he's hurt for a while, but he's a good fielder. But he's never been a big average hitter.
no.
Someone might want him, for a playoff push, but you're not going to get a lot for him.
But what if you're sitting there and you're almost at 50 wins at the All-Star break, and you're like, well, hell, I mean, if we win, have an 8 game win streak here. They're
Be a
two.
buy.
They're not going to be
Hey,
sellers. I
hey,
don't think they're going to be
hey,
sellers.
hey. Well, why don't Boston? Why don't
Boston's only two
Boston?
games out of the wild card. I don't
Right.
care.
Why don't they get Otani then? Give him their stud boy, Marcelo Meyer.
Yeah,
Give him something else because he could make the difference.
yeah,
He could carry him
yep.
with the pitching. And Chris Sale's probably not coming back again.
No,
You know
but
that
so
unfortunately didn't
moving
work for
moving on from here. So, and I think AL Central, literally any team there could be sellers, any of them, because they're all just terrible. The best teams, Cleveland.
Answer me a question. You're a Twins guy. Why does Gabe Kapler have a job in the major leagues? Because what does he do? What does he add to a team besides not ability not to hit?
Who'd you say?
And he has the ability
Wait,
not
you
to hit.
said Gabe Kapler. That's what I think. Max
Oh,
Kepler.
Gabe Kapler's the actor from Welcome Back, Kotter. Sorry, yeah,
Gabe Kapler's
and that's Gabe
is
Kaplan.
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Your man, your age is catching. You threw me off there. It's like the
Well, I'm
manager.
just keeping you on your toes, man.
Yeah, Max Kepler.
But yeah,
Well, hey, at least they got rid of Sanu, that overweight, underachieving. But anyway,
yeah.
so any team in the AL Central, I could see realistically selling. Um, Going on to the AL West, Seattle, LA, Angels, and Oakland are all probably going to be selling. The NL East, the Mets and the Nationals, the Cubs, the Pirates, the Cardinals. That's what Milwaukee's. They're
Yeah,
only
what do you think? Yeah, Milwaukee's
they're only a
still in the
game out,
world.
so I don't know if they're going to sell Burns because they're close. I don't think they're going to
Yeah,
do that.
but they have a history of moving people, man.
Yeah, and the
They're always
Dodgers
close,
aren't.
but
I,
they
I,
remember they got rid of Hader and whoever else, and when they shouldn't have.
I think the Padres and the Cardinal or the Rockies are going to be traded sellers as well. I don't think the 49er Giants
Giants.
are. Um, yeah, so it just depends who sells because maybe the Giants are looking at it saying, well, maybe we're competitive, but we don't need Alex Cobb. You know what I mean? You never know if the offer's good enough. Realistically, everyone's for sale if the offer's good enough, right? So,
I would agree.
but it's interesting. I think after the All-Star break, the dominoes will start to fall. But we got what 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's not long. It's not
Yeah,
long.
3 weeks until the trade deadline. So the first domino really fell, getting Aroldis Chapman to the Texas Rangers. So we'll see how it goes, and it's definitely an exciting time. What are your closing thoughts here? We'll let everyone get out of here.
Just been a great season. I'm sitting here watching the draft. That is kind of like paint drying a little bit now as they're getting further along, but I still interested.
Well, there is
Um,
history. You don't tell them the history
Go
tonight.
ahead.
Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz, number 1 and 2, first time ever from LSU, and I don't know who do you think's going to be better.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm excited more than you can believe because I'm a Nationals fan too. I got to come clean, and I think he's going to be a quick riser, and he looks like a little bit shorter version of Bryce Harper.
No.
We can only hope.
Harper's a first ballot Hall of Famer to me.
I really like
By
Bryce
the time he
Harper.
retires, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think he can retire today and be a Hall of Famer. However, I think Paul Skeens is the best one of the two because when he had 130 pitches in the World Series and was still hitting 101, it's crazy.
Pitchers scare me though, as far as picking them high because
Yeah.
look at Rocker. He's hurt. Uh, Leiter with Texas, he might as well be hurt. The numbers he's putting up 2 years in a row are awful. His numbers are almost identical to 2 years, high 5 ERA.
Andrew Painter, too, another high pick who got hurt. We
Yeah,
can probably list off about 132 Oriole pitchers who did that.
yeah,
What was the
yeah.
chubby guy? You remember who I'm talking about?
you.
No, what was his name? Remember he was a fat guy the Orioles drafted, and he never made it from high school.
Oh, Hobgood.
Yeah, Matt Hobgood. Yeah,
What a waste. They
yeah.
thought they were smarter than everybody else
Hunter
picking him.
Harvey. Hunter Harvey got hurt. He got a little career resurgence now, but he's not what he was. Dylan
No.
Bundy was supposed to be something special, wasn't? I mean,
You can go down the list on their crappy drafts.
yeah.
But anyway,
Brian Mattis. Zach Britton was supposed to be a starter. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, we're at 20 minutes here. Let's wrap it up. Give your closing thoughts here, T-Bone, and we'll get going and get ready for the All-Star break. Watch the tonight. This is getting released on Monday, so then the Home Run Derby is going to be on. So that's exciting. That's more exciting than the All-Star game, I think. But then we got a couple days off. I'm picking back up the weekend coming up and get ready for the second half of baseball.
Yeah. It's getting down to the nitty gritty, brass tacks. All right. Well, that's all for now, folks. We'll see you next time on Brooks Knows Baseball.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, John Boy.